guys have tons of motors here. Tell us about some of these that are
well, we got one over here that's been in a couple different magazines. It's a 351 stroker Cleveland that we did. It made a little over 750 horsepower, naturally aspirated. No blower, no turbo, no nitrous, anything like that. This one here is a 383 big block Chrysler with aluminum Edelbrock heads on it. That far engine over there is a pretty rare bird. It's a 427 single overhead cam Ford engine. Very few of them made.
Wow.
It was produced to dominate in the NASCAR series back in the 60s, which it did for a short period of time, but they outlawed it because it did so well.
They outlawed it?
They outlawed
They're like, I'm sorry, this is too good.
And keep in mind that most engines had, you know, the camshafts inline in the block, right? Ford was one of the first ones to actually put a cam on top of each cylinder head. Quite a big deal back in the day for its time.
They're like, I'm sorry, this is too good.
Yes, basically.
Please bring something crappier to the track.
Essentially.
Check it out. We actually have our 351 Cleveland on the dyno. The guys finally put it on here. Finally. Took some time.
Bolted on the stock 351 cast iron Cleveland heads.
Yep.
On top of that, we just put the stock valve train back on it with some really nice cast aluminum valve covers from Ford Racing.
Yep.
Then we got the Edelbrock intake here in the metal, also topped with an Edelbrock carburetor here on top to accurately meter our air and fuel.
And what's this do, Mickey?
This is also an Edelbrock water pump. It's really kind of the best particular water pump in the industry for this application. It's aluminum housing and moves a good amount of water.
Nice.
Did your wife
ready to go?
Huh? Did your wife get you those shoes?
What the fuck is wrong with you? I like these shoes.
Otherwise, this thing's basically ready to fire up and break in.
Great. So where's the on button? Nope. So this lever actually controls the throttle then?
Yes, sir. You could call it a high idle, yeah. That's just because at idle, the crankshaft's not really throwing up enough splash oil to help lubricate everything properly during the first few minutes of its life. You know, once everything gets broken in, after that it's not as critical, obviously, for a crank to throw up as much oil because everything's mated together, basically.
So why would it flash if there's not enough fuel? Because it's igniting the air?
Oh, at the wrong time, basically. What's cool is it ignites it in the chamber, goes out the intake valve, through the intake port, through the butterfly flaps, and then out the carburetor. So that flame
Was that big?
is that big, yeah.
That's a lot of flame. Hey, cool. Measuring the torque and horsepower?
It measures the torque and computes the horsepower.
Wow, that was really impressive. I had no idea it was going to be that loud.
It was pretty impressive and it was loud. We got some really good numbers here from the Edelbrock package. Right now we're going to go ahead and remove the cast iron cylinder heads, replace them with Edelbrock aluminum cylinder heads, do a camshaft swap to the comp camshaft.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
How long is it going to take you guys to do all that?
Oh, we should probably have this done under a couple hours.
And a couple hours.
A couple hours. So if you want to go in the break room there, throw your feet up.
Wait. You guys have a break room?
Well,
I've been here for 4 days and I didn't even know about the break room?
you could call it a break.
Donuts! All right, now that you have your new gaskets on, go ahead and drop your new But that's a great part. All right, once you've installed your new gaskets, go ahead and drop your new cylinder heads on. And once you have those set, you'll probably need to use a screwdriver or small pry bar to break free your intake manifold.
In a performance application, most things are fastened together with studs because they're far superior as far as strength and reliability goes over a bolt.
Now Ryan and Vinny are going to take off the cylinder heads and of course the gaskets that are underneath them. Here Vinny's removing the distributor cap. Don't forget to also take off all your spark plug wires. Alright, the guys are cleaning all the surfaces and decks to make sure they can apply new sealant for all the new gaskets. And here Vinny's installing the new studs. You may need a different length stud depending on which type of cylinder head you're putting on.
The cylinder head is basically the gateway between making power or not making power.
Right.
All airflow coming in and leaving the engine have to pass through the cylinder head. So if it can't flow enough air, then you're not going to be making any power.
Got it.
This here is an aftermarket aluminum head from Edelbrock. It weighs about 35 pounds less than that iron one there. So the main differences being combustion chamber design, as you can see here right off the bat. This creates a lot of dead area, no quench. The turbulence isn't very quick or fast moving inside this chamber here, as where this one, all the molecules are moving around so quickly that it mixes together well and creates for a good efficient burn. Ports, they're ever so slightly larger in cc volume, and the design and or shape of them allows for them to be much more efficient. They're going to be able to flow quite a few more numbers, or CFM as they might say. Remember, an engine's just an air pump, so the more air you can get in and out, the more efficient and more powerful it's going to be.
Alright, once you have your new gaskets installed, go ahead and drop your cylinder heads on. Check the manufacturer's instructions for the torque specs to make sure you don't damage them. Once you have those in, you can install your intake manifold.
What we're doing now is replacing the guide plates that came standard on these cylinder heads with an upgraded version from Manley. So this is going to be able to support our big 3/8 push rods too as well.
Man, he's making you look dumb.
Let me see that socket.
Man, I think you go on a coffee break.
Big upgrade from your stamped steel roller rockers or stamped steel rockers that you would have gotten from the factory.
What do these exactly do?
Well, they do a couple things. They keep valve train a lot more, accurate as far as their action of going up and down, due to the fact that they're not sitting in a cup and ball type of design. They have full needle bearings on them, which allow them to go, up and down, or just like a teeter-totter would, much more efficiently.
Cool.
With less friction than a stamped steel one would.
Nice. Whoa, Ryan, you've been busy.
I have been busy.
Man, that side of my motor looks like Iron Man.
Right? Very cool.
I like that.
Despite the fact that this is not a solid valve train, it's a hydraulic valve train, which is going to do a few things for us. One, it's going to reduce the amount of friction inside the engine by getting rid of this old rocker arm that has very many places and surface areas to create frictional heat, which is going to be a loss in power. So what these do is it reduces the amount of friction, therefore more power. Two, they're a bigger, stronger piece, so it's going to be more accurate at higher RPM. And three, most importantly, is they just look freaking awesome. Headers are probably the one thing that doesn't fit any engine. Like, you purposely buy a set of headers meant for your chassis, your engine. You go to put them on, they won't fit. Okay, all that we really have left is to attach the fuel line and install 8 spark plugs, and we really should be ready to light this thing off here in just a few minutes.
Are you done yet?
No.
How about now?
No.
Are you ready? How about now?
Yes, I am ready.
All right.
All right.
Sweet.
Let's do this.
Okay, so this motor looks way beefier than before. What all did you guys change?
Well, we changed a few things here. We changed the cast iron cylinder heads, swapped those out for a favorable set of aluminum ones. They're lighter, they flow more air. Those particular ones are from Edelbrock. We swapped out the camshaft in favor of a comp camshaft, which is going to basically bring these cylinder heads to their max potential by allowing more air and more fuel to flow in through the cylinder heads and then into the combustion chamber.
Cool.
Underneath the valve covers, we also swapped out the stock steel rocker arms for the better, more accurate, and less frictional aluminum roller rockers from Comp. We also put in Manly push rods and Manly guide plates too.
Nice. So when you're deciding on which cam to use, you have to measure that out with the heads, or?
Certainly. The heads go on a flow bench to find out exactly how much air they flow, and then goes through a computer system where it picks out the best lobe design for the camshaft.
Good. Let's see how good that computer did picking this stuff out.
Let's find out.
And let's see how good you did putting it all together.
That's right.
I'm not going to be in here
I
this
think
time.
it'll be just fine.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
All right.
Horsepower and 451.8 pounds of torque.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, it's really nice.
That's nice. Man, that was amazing.
It really was.
And we almost hit our numbers, right?
Yes, sir. Now we're going to swap out the carburetor for a fast fuel injection system from Comp and see what kind of numbers we get from that. Even though it might not add numbers overall, it's going to be, as far as drivability goes, a much better runner. Easy to tune, just overall much better package with the fuel injection system.
You ready to plumb this and wire it up?
Not really.
Why?
Because it's my birthday.
Alright, we're going to be installing a fast dual sync distributor, so we're going to take the old distributor off. The reason being is it'll give us more room to work when we're installing the throttle body. Alright, now you can install your easy Efi Throttle Body using the provided gasket, and you can attach it with the screws or studs that were used for the original carburetor. Then reattach your vacuum lines, but you'll want to check to see if they're run to a ported or manifold vacuum. On page 8 of the instructions, it shows you where to attach those. Alright, now it's time to set up your fuel line system. You have a couple of options here. You can either go in tank or in line, and either return or returnless. Check out the information that FAST provides, and they'll help you decide what's best for your application. Alright, now we're going to be installing the oxygen sensor. It comes with a fitting and a plug. If you don't have a welder, take it to any muffler shop and they'll be able to install it for you. And don't forget to check out the instructions from FAST that show you how and where to install the sensor. Alright, next we're going to install the coolant temperature sensor. It typically mounts on your intake manifold and there should be an existing hole for it. Make sure and use thread sealant or Teflon tape when installing the sensor and the adapter. Alright, now let's go over the ECU and wiring installation. Since we're working on a dyno and every car has a different setup, all I can do is give you some pointers on where to mount it. You want to mount it, 1, where you can see the LED lights. It shows you how the system's working. 2, you don't want to mount it where there's excessive heat or poor air circulation. And 3, don't mount it near any ignition components, such as your ignition box, coils, or distributor. For the wiring, you have about 20 or so connections depending on what features you have on your vehicle. FAST has all of them listed out with photos in their instructions, and now Ryan's going to give you a rundown of how we did our wiring setup.
Okay, the wiring is really pretty straightforward. We got our orange wire going to the positive side of the coil, our black wire going to the negative side of the coil, and then out of the coil, our coil wire going straight up to our distributor. Those orange and black wires are going straight down to the ignition box down here. So down here, we really just have a few wires. Our thick red positive wire goes to the positive side of the battery. The black wire goes to the negative side of the battery. The skinny red one is going to go to switched 12 volt power. The green wire here is the RPM input, and the white one is the points output. Other than that, for this application, we just want to take both of these leads off here so that way they don't contact each other and spark or arc or anything cool like that.
Another great feature of the Easy EFi Kit is that it's really versatile when it comes to what distributors you can use with it. You can use old mechanical point distributors, MSD 2-wire distributors, it works with or without timing control, and you can even use it on more modern options. We decided to go with a fast dual sync distributor. It's easy to set up and it's exactly what this system needs. Now it's time to set your fuel pressure. Grab an Allen key and a wrench and adjust the top of the regulator while monitoring the gauge. We have to hit 43 PSI.
That's about 45.
All right guys, so the last step is programming the setup wizard, which is on this beautiful little monitor here. It's touchscreen. You want to calibrate it first. It says you don't have to, but we ended up doing it. The key to that is when you power it up, hold your finger on the screen for 4 seconds. It's not like you can hold your finger on the screen for 4 seconds at this home menu. You have to do it while it's powering up. That'll let you recalibrate where you're touching the screen so it'll actually work and you can actually make the connections work. All right, so you're gonna hit Setup Wizard. Here you're gonna hit Confirm. Shows this little green arrow up here in the corner. We're gonna hit that. All right, so here you pick your number of cylinders. We have 8. Next you're gonna do cubic inches. Well, this was a 351, but we're gonna register it as a 356. Good, hit enter. Then here's our idle RPM. We wanna hit it at 800. Hit enter. See how it's popping over here on the screen. Our rev limiter, Jim wants this at 6800, so we're gonna put that in. Hit enter, and now our next green button. Fuel type, we're gonna be running gasoline, so that's already selected. Fuel delivery, we're doing a return system, that's why we have it plumbed that way. And next, which crank input? Well, we're using the fast distributor, so we're gonna pick that. See it lit up green. Next page. Here's our idle in degrees and all in. Idle we want at 20, and they said we want to put the all in at 36 degrees, so we're gonna crank that up. Oh, it's one too many. And hit enter. Here's where we pick our throttle body. It's single or dual. Could you imagine putting 2 of these on a block? Ay, ay, ay. All right, so we're at single, hit enter. Here's the throttle, then press the calibrate button. So we've released the throttle, we're hitting calibrate, it's calibrating. Done. Okay, and now we're gonna press the fuel. So give me a little bit of fuel.
Fuel pressure?
Yep, okay, and it's reading, give me a little more. That's reading 1.2, I hit calibrate. Done. Love that. All right, fuel warning. We're not gonna skip that because it says warning. Hit confirm, and now this is going to let us check the fuel pressure coming into the system. Here's the target fuel pressure and the current fuel pressure. All right, so let's go ahead and flip on our fuel pressure. And we'll hit start. And here you can see our fuel pressure climbing. We already kind of tweaked it a little bit, so we should get right around 44. Let's see what happens here. Still climbing, we're at 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 43. Oh, I love it, right at 43. Up 44, 45. I think we're happy with that. So we'll stop that. Now we're gonna check the engine temperature. We gotta fire up the block to do that. I'm not gonna be in here while this bad boy is heating up on this dyno.
Okay, we had a little trouble getting her fired up at first, but due to this is the kind of the first time we've been working with a fast fuel injection system, we realized that we had 2 points of signals coming into the computer when we only should have had 1. So we disconnected the green RPM input and just have the points output as the signal to the distributor, and everything should work out just fine.
You guys did it.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah, you put the whole motor together. We threw it on the dyno. We dynoed it, swapped out the heads, dynoed it, swapped out the cam, dynoed it, took off the carburetor, threw on the EFI unit, dynoed it, and
and we got amazing numbers.
Yeah, no, it worked out real well. We got good torque numbers, it ran well. I'm very impressed by the fast fuel injection system as far as its ability to deliver fuel.
Yeah.
And spark.
And the way to set the timing, I mean, it's so easy when you have the computer set up.
It really, really was.
And exact, I love that.
Yes.
What's next?
Well, you are going to leave soon, right? This is all over.
Oh.
Closing time.
We're
ready
done?
to go. I think so. Ready to wrap it up?
We're done?
I don't really know if there's too much more we can slap on.
No, I think let's put another thing on. What else can we put on there?
Yeah, you know what? I think I do have one thing right out here that works really well with this. Here, it's right out here.
You want me to get it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Grab that box right there.
This one?
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's
That
great.
one?
Yeah, no. We're all done for the day. Thank you.
Restomod 101.